This educational example builds a miniature dependency injection container in plain Java. Using custom annotations like @component, @inject, and @qualifier along with reflection and package scanning, it wires objects automatically, exactly how Spring works internally. In roughly 300 lines, you'll see inversion of control come to life. The container discovers classes, resolves dependencies, and manages singletons. Perfect for demystifying the magic behind every professional Java framework. We start by defining 3 runtime annotations. @component marks a class as a bean that our container should manage. @inject tells the container to supply a dependency either via constructor parameter or directly into a field. @qualifier distinguishes between multiple implementations of the same interface. It carries a string value to specify which bean we want. These annotations replace the configuration files you'd normally see in a real DI framework. And they are the first step in building our own mini-Spring. The mini-container class holds 3 crucial pieces: a beans map that stores already created singleton instances, a component classes set with every discovered @component, and a creation stack to detect circular dependencies. Scan package mimics component scanning. It uses the class loader to find all .class files inside a given package, loads them via reflection, and keeps those that were @component. After scanning, it eagerly creates every component so they are ready when needed later. getBean is the main entry point. It first checks the cache. If the bean is already there, we return it immediately, enforcing the singleton pattern. If not, it calls resolve implementation to find a concrete class. Circular dependencies are caught by checking whether the same class is already on the creation stack, which would mean we're in a loop. Once the instance is built, it's stored under both the requested type, e.g., an interface, and its concrete class, so subsequent look UPS hit the cache. Create instance builds the object. Find constructor picks either the single constructor, the one annotated @inject, or the no-arg constructor. Resolve parameters walks the constructor's parameter list and calls resolve dependency for each, which triggers getBean recursively. After the object is constructed, we also inject any field marked @inject. This is exactly how field injection works. We break into the field with setAccessible, true, and set it directly, bypassing the need for a setter. Find constructor implements a clear precedence: one constructor use it, else pick the @inject annotated one, otherwise default to a no-arg constructor. Resolve parameters grabs the parameter types and their annotations. For each parameter, it looks for a @qualifier so the container can pick the right implementation among several candidates. Then it hands off to resolve dependency, which ties the whole graph together. When a @qualifier is present, resolve dependency loops over all discovered @component classes, checks if one carries the matching @qualifier value, and verifies it's assignable to the required type. If no qualifier is given, it falls back to a plain getBean type. The demonstration part defines 2 implementations of the greeter interface, each tagged with a different qualifier, and a greeting client that requests a qualifier, formal. This shows how the container can pick the right bean automatically. The entry point creates the container, scans the default package, and asks for the greeting client. The container recursively resolves its dependencies. It finds formal greeter, because of @qualifier, formal, creates a printer, injects them, and returns a fully wired object. This tiny program demonstrates the essence of inversion of control. The framework controls object creation and wiring, not the application code. Students can now see how their @auto-wired or @inject works under the hood.